Anyway, there was this crew that came in and was trying to commandeer some tables.
The defendants face a slew of criminal charges, including extortion, money laundering, drug trafficking, pandering, and unlawful possession of firearms.
A man was beaten, stabbed, and dumped in the desert. Another was lured to a clubhouse, murdered, and cremated to erase the evidence. These weren't just prisoners. They were Hell's Angels, still feared, even behind bars. So how do you lock up men who never stop pulling strings, no matter how thick the prison walls are?
A Hell's Angel gang member is back in U.S. custody for the gruesome murder of a local woman.
U.S. Marshals extradited Paul Eichscheid back to the U.S. this week. He was captured in Argentina 7 years ago and held in jail down there.
Paul Eichscheid looked like the last person you'd ever suspect. In Arizona, he wore a suit, worked as a stockbroker, and lived a quiet, professional life. But once the sun went down, that clean-cut image disappeared.
Joseph Lancia today began his 5-year sentence in prison 1 month after pleading no contest to 3 counts that he shot at a truck driven by a rival as it drove by Hell's Angels headquarters in Providence.
Paul was a full-patch member of the Hell's Angels, and in 2001, he took part in one of their most brutal crimes, the murder of Cynthia Garcia, a mother of 6. After a night of partying, she insulted the club, and things turned deadly. She was beaten, stabbed nearly 30 times, and dumped in the Arizona desert.
So, right now they're really getting Ray. They're going to wash him for sure. I believe the sentence will look like 40 to life.
Christopher Ray Ranieri wasn't just another biker. He was the brains behind some of the Hell's Angels' darkest moves. As the president of the Salem, Massachusetts chapter, he didn't just enforce the rules, he wrote them. In 2014, when a fellow member named Joel Silva clashed with one of his close allies, Ranieri saw it as disrespect that had to be handled. Silva was lured to the Fresno clubhouse, murdered, and his body was cremated to erase the evidence. His truck was set on fire the next day. Ranieri even showed up to a party afterward to celebrate the kill. In 2023, after a long investigation, he was convicted of racketeering, conspiracy, and murder.
And then they got him on the RICO, which is a mandatory life sentence when it comes to his record. So basically, they got both of them.
His case pulled the curtain back on how calculated and organized the Hell's Angels are, especially when one of their own decides someone's crossed the line. Even in prison, Ranieri's influence is impossible to ignore.
Angels Motorcycle Club, he's from Peru and he faces 19 charges, including multiple counts of murder for the murders of 3 men in Pittsfield in August of 2011.
Adam Lee Hall didn't care who got in his way. In 2009, he beat a man named David Glasser with a baseball bat because he thought Glasser had stolen from him. Glasser reported the assault to police and planned to testify in court. That decision cost him his life.
His roommate, Edward Frampton, and their friend, Robert Chadwell. David Glasser, Frampton, and Chadwell were murdered in Pittsfield. The judge is now taking the stand.
Just days before the court date in 2011, Glasser and his 2 close friends, Edward Frampton and Robert Chadwell, disappeared. After 11 days of searching, police found their bodies, wrapped in plastic bags, tortured, and shot. Hall wanted to silence a witness, and in doing so, he wiped out 3 lives. His actions shocked the small town of Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Hall was convicted and sentenced to life without parole. The case showed just how dangerous loyalty to the Hell's Angels can be, and how far some members will go to keep secrets buried, no matter how many lives it costs.
Yeah, I've been in my motorcycle club when it was the Dirty Dozen, and then when it became the Hell's Angels. I've been in my club almost 38 years.
Before the Hell's Angels took over Arizona, it was Robert Chico Mora and the Dirty Dozen who ruled the streets. Chico was a powerhouse, known for his raw strength, fearless attitude, and brutal way of handling problems.
Dirty Dozen back then? 38 years?
I'm the senior member of the Dirty Dozen.
Star. There you go.
I don't know about Star.
Under his lead, the Dirty Dozen became Arizona's most feared biker club, infamous for wild shootouts, drug-fueled chaos, and their iron grip on local territory. In 1996, Chico made a move that changed biker history. He led the patchover that merged the Dirty Dozen with the Hells Angels. Those who refused were told to retire.
Oh yeah, if I fell over right now dead, I would still be the winner because I've had more fun than everybody.
I noticed once in the cliffs.
From that point on, the red and white ruled Arizona. Chico dodged prison for a long time, but his past eventually caught up with him. He was convicted of manslaughter and other violent crimes, sealing his legacy as one of the most ruthless enforcers the Hells Angels ever had. Even behind bars, his name still carries weight in outlaw circles.
Brian Wendt and Russell Ott, aka Rusty, was found guilty of similar crimes. We will be jumping around a little bit while detailing this story.
Brian Wayne Wendt was the kind of Hells Angel you didn't cross. As president of the Salem Charter, he had a reputation for handling problems quickly and permanently. In 2014, Joel Silva, a member of the Sonoma chapter, got into a heated argument with another member.
A chance to see members display patches, or tags, such as the Filthy Few, that advertise to the world that the particular member has engaged in violence on behalf of the organization.
That clash was seen as disrespect. And in the Hells Angels world, disrespect has consequences. Silva was lured to the Fresno clubhouse, where Wendt shot and killed him. The next day, Silva's body was cremated, and his truck was torched to erase all evidence.
Close personal relationships. These bonds were demonstrated, among other ways, through expressions of support and admiration, through frequent visits, through celebration of anniversaries of Hells Angels membership.
In 2022, Wendt was convicted and sentenced to life. His case proved how dangerous internal disputes can become when you're part of a club that settles scores with bullets.
Notorious biker gangs has died. Sonny Barger was the founding member of the Hells Angels Oakland chapter. KPIX5's Julia Goodrich has more on Barger's local roots and shares a personal story about him.
Sonny Barger founded the Oakland charter of the Hells Angels in 1957.
Sonny Barger wasn't just a member of the Hells Angels. He was the man who turned the club into a legend. He founded the Oakland chapter in 1957. And helped grow the Angels into an international outlaw empire. Even from prison, Barger stayed in control.
Who became the public face of the Notorious motorcycle club. No comments released today from the charter, but a small memorial of flowers was set up outside.
He plotted hits and bombings and ran club operations with the same authority he held on the outside. His criminal record stretched across decades, but time behind bars only added to his reputation. He was feared, respected, and untouchable in the eyes of many. When he passed in 2022, he had spent over 10 years locked up, but his legend never faded.
A member of the Hells Angels. In May of 2023, a federal jury found Raymond Folks, also known as Ray Ray, and Christopher Rainieri, who was known as Rain Man, guilty of racketeering conspiracy.
Raymond Rain Man. Folks wasn't just running the Sonoma County chapter, he ruled it like a warlord. When he found out that another Hells Angels member had an affair with his partner, he didn't just lash out, he planned revenge.
John, along with Brian Wendt and Russell Ott, aka Rusty, was found guilty of similar crimes. We will be jumping around a little bit while detailing this story, but try to stick with us. Let's get into it.
He tortured the man and turned his rage on the woman too, threatening her to keep quiet. But it didn't stop there. Folks also used violence and fear to control anyone who might speak out, including witnesses.
Since the 1970s, the evidence at trial showed that the enterprise was engaged in murder, assault, robbery, extortion, witness intimidation, drug trafficking, weapons possession, and fraud, among other things.
His actions blurred the line between personal revenge and club enforcement. Now, facing up to 60 years in prison, his case shows how far some members will go to keep control. If you liked this video, don't forget to comment down below what you would like to see next. And while you are at it, make sure to subscribe to our channel.